it is, Sunday Night Live. Flying solo, lyrically the dolo. Want you to know it's not no bolo. Leo, Leoc. Don't you understand it's in the chart B? Bring your chart, what house are you in? Leo's just shining, being regal with the chin. The smile, the spotlight, being bold, fiery. Fixed energy, don't you know, inspire thee? Yeah, how you feeling tonight? Want you to know it's ready for a rhyme fight, written freestyle, but that means it's all for the brain, goma the pile. Yo, not in exile, but can't you see it's been hidden, these skills that they're coming out for thee. Yeah, now it's time for Virgo season, but I'm closing up the chapter and I do it for a reason. Say goodbye to Leo, you know, the Virgo new moon, we just had it, yo. It's that black new moon. It's not time for intentions, but I want you to know this is what I mentioned. What you need to do is be introspective. See what you need to do, the detective. So you can just purge and release. So you can increase and be detailed, precise. Release something that's no good. Let it up out of your body and your hood. Gut health, make it feel a little better. Then maybe you could get a little bit more cheddar. Rhyme. Yes, time. Understand on the mic I will shine. One of the best to ever do it. So fluid on this microphone, the Moet. You know I just do it like Mike Pruitt. And I go, then I go. Yes, everybody wants to just see the flow. There's already a design that's straight up in place. They're trying to take away your right to vote in your face. It's amended, not pretended. Return to sender, and I will blend it. If it was up to me, I would end it. See, it's time for hip hop. Let's start the show, baby. Ooh. Knowledge. What's going on, y'all? Trying something new tonight. It's just me, the E alone. No wife, no kids, the headphones, the microphone. Who's here? Let me know that you can hear me good. We're going to check in the chat so I can see who's here rocking with me, the Big E. And I'm so glad to see you guys. Okay. D Nice is in the house. How you feeling, man? Happy birthday. It's Virgo season. Stephen the Jupiterian. Danny, we missed you Friday night at the tribe meeting. Stephen was there. It was dope. Hey, Ev. How you feeling, lady? Hope you're doing well. You know, I really love Virgo season. Hey, Gigi. We missed you, too, at the tribe meeting. Oh, my God. Nettie was amazing, you guys. The light language. Remember, we're not meeting until, I think, Friday the 12th. I'm going to play Jason. And hopefully you guys can hear me good with the headphones and the mic. Hike. And don't forget, okay, so next week, right? I got, let me tell you who I got. I'll just see what you guys are saying in the chat real quick. So Tuesday, Micah Dank is returning. And he's going to answer your questions about him revealing 6,000 years of hidden secrets. But we're going to kind of go through some of the subjects that are in his Into the Rabbit Hole book series. Okay, which is really powerful. And hey, Jacqueline, hopefully you signed up with Debbie. I sent you that link. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited to be working with Debbie. I'm going to give you some house clipping. Sound is great. Thank you, man. It's a little challenging because I got to talk to you, but then hear it in my audio, you know, when I highlight your comments and stuff. So just bear with me. I'm flying. You know, the kids are here, but I want to do this because I want to be able to do it by myself. And I got to take advantage of technology, even with being visually impaired. So that's what it's about. And wifey's out. She's actually going to an event for a friend, a book signing or a book opening. And they're having a little event. So it's just for women. I couldn't go, even though it's a friend of both of ours. But I'm excited for her for that. And, you know, hope you guys had a good Leo season, and thanks for the Leos that reached out for the birth chart sale. But Virgos, remember, not just the natal chart, solar return, second-day progression. And it's so beneficial, whether you're Virgo, sun, moon, rising, the solar return literally shows you how this year life will play out. And it's very beneficial. May have a different rising and a different moon. And then the secondary progression, like me, I'm turning 55, double nickel, right? Jordan in the garden. Um, and I'm a Scorpio sun sign right now. So if you're a Virgo, you could be a Libra, Scorpio, or an OG Sag. And you probably have a different moon or different rising, right? I'm also a Capricorn rising now. So it's really fascinating to learn. I even got to do my own. I very rarely have time to do my own chart. I take like a quick look, and I do that for the wife and kids for birthday solar return. But I probably pay less attention to mine, except for I don't know how you guys have been feeling health wise. This energy, the black new moon squaring Uranus. We're in eclipse season. Saturn and Pisces. I put that up. Go check that out. For those of you who were at Coffee Talk for that, that was awesome. But, that's an interesting transit. The moon's in Sag, Virgo sun. It was a Leo rising chart, but I broke it down for all 12 rising signs. I didn't put the time code in. I know some people really love that. YouTube's supposed to do it automatically for you. You click the button, but it doesn't do it. So I got to figure that out. But it just means I got to go through and write it down, Hey, Jackie Washington. And, it's really time consuming. Yes. And that's what I was saying, that I love Virgo season because it's time to kind of get organized. Yeah, you do got to make it to the next one. It was so I'm bouncing all over the place. Forgive me. Let me slow down. Oh, the 12th, your birthday. Wow. Well, we had to celebrate your birthday. I forget you're on the 12th. Yeah, Jackie, you didn't get the email I sent you, Jacqueline? Yeah, I was going to say, if you're a Virgo moon, you should definitely take advantage of that. Okay, I got to stop listening to you guys for a second. It's not the earpiece. I got to highlight it. So I'm like micromanaging. So just bear with me because I'm like trying to talk to you and then listen at the same time and answer you guys. It's kind of challenging, but I'm a Virgo, Mercury, and Mars, and Virgo stellium. I love a challenge. Something new. I'm excited. It's fun, especially flying solo. So tonight on episode 373, we're talking about Leo in all 12 houses, which will cover all 12 rising signs. And I'm going to start with Leo rising and then work my way around. I just want to announce a couple of things, right? I'll be putting up in a community post, so please vote, subjects for Coffee Talk in September. The one thing that I may do, but I'll probably do it October, is Neptune entering back to Pisces, but that's October 22nd. So I'll probably do that in the first Coffee Talk in October. So September, I'm thinking about maybe getting back to reading Coffee Talk members' birth charts, but I'm also thinking about maybe doing some. I don't want to do the future transits yet because the ones that are up in 2026 are so important. And then Uranus going back to Taurus, that's November 7th. I'll probably do that in October as well, along with Neptune back into Pisces. So it's fresh in your mind, because I want these energies to be able to help you, right? So that you can tap into them and they're beneficial to you. That's always my hope. I'm trying to, I'm a Virgo, right? I'm always trying to be of service, but I want you to be able to use astrology to the best of your ability in your practical lives. So that's why I like to do it right before. But I have thought of doing things like, even getting back to some celebrity charts. That's kind of interesting. It is Virgo season, so we could do Dave Chappelle and Kobe Bryant. How about that? Too interesting. I mean, obviously R.I.P. Kobe, but Dave Chappelle, who I did meet, very funny, and he also, when he moved to New York from D.C., he used to kind of open up and travel around with one of my homeboys from my neighborhood. I live in one of the most talented neighborhoods in New York City, Upper West Side. A lot of my friends and people in my neighborhood are all doing things like in the business, in the industry, just everywhere. And so my buddy Greer Barnes, he was on the Dave Chappelle show. He's going on tour and opened up for Dave, stand-up comic, really funny. He had a little funny comedy thing during the pandemic, like it was like two black guys on a bench or something. But yeah, he's a Sagittarius, real funny cat. But but I met Dave through other people because I just so you know, right? So I was professional actor, MC. I did sketch comedy characters, House of Bugging, worked on Saturday Night Live, and almost made it on In Living Color, and they canceled the show. But I've never done stand-up, and I was going to do it when I turned 50 as a challenge. Because, the way that I can write and do comedy characters, I think I could do well at stand-up. It was just never a desire, And I think some of it, to be honest, was probably some fears because of my vision. But I'm kind of over that now. And I'm just so busy as an astrologer, relationship coach, and a father and husband, and about to be author, We're doing the editing. And there's just like 2 more little things to write. And I'm just really proud of what I'm going to share with you guys. It's taking a long time because it's thorough, like the borough I'm from. They named it twice because it's that nice. And so this is not going to be your regular average astrology book. It's very unique and very different because I brought in a lot of elements that represent me. And so I just can't wait for you guys to get it. And I hope you all support and buy it. I've worked so hard. And then I may do my Foundations Astrology course. I was going to say in the fall, but it's just hard finding the days because I'm also doing a bunch of workshops, right? Saturday, September 13th, Debbie Solaris and I will be doing Cosmic Clarity, answering one question from each person, a burning question from your soul from the Akashic and astrological perspective. It's $36, 2 hours, Saturday, September 13th, 6 p.m. Eastern. You just got to bring your birth date and your big 3, and we will give you some really powerful insight. And this is big because Debbie's got a waiting list of 3,000 and her waiting list is closed. So to be able to meet with Debbie Solaris, who is a master Akashic Records reader and teacher, and really a friend and a sweet soul. And then another friend, and I've been so honored to develop friendships with these people. And if you guys really think about it, I've got one of the most dynamic podcasts out there as an astrologer. The myriad of guests that I bring on, other astrologers, but other spiritual modalities. I mean, I don't see anybody that's really messing with me. I know the astrology podcast, Chris Brennan, but he just has astrologers. But I don't know if you know somebody, tell me. But I bring on some heavy hitters, but really good information. And Micah Dank Tuesday night will be great. Friday afternoon, come early, 3 p.m. Eastern, before everybody goes away on Labor Day weekend. And hello to the other people in the comments in the chat. I'm going to highlight and read that soon. Amy Robeson. She was recently on Gaia. She is an Akashic Records reader, DNA activation, light language. She's a spiritual coach. We're going to talk about the tapping into the ancestors through the Akashic. She's going to do live readings for you in the chat, also a reading on me. And we're going to talk about the DNA of us with all these solar flares and moving into the 5D and ascension, how our DNA is actually changing. Hopefully you guys are experiencing these things and feeling these things, and make sure you're doing the work. The more you take time to breathe, be still, be quiet, meditate, you will build up your spiritual muscles and your spiritual man. Don't forget, also do your workouts Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, best days, add a Wednesday, Sunday, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Wednesday, Sunday, Mercury's the sun. Very beneficial. Please don't work out on Mondays and Fridays. It's just not even good for your body. It's the moon and the Venus day. Introspection and romance and dating and chocolate and stuff like that. So I'm listening to your comments. So we'll see how Okay. So not so many new comments. And yeah, I'm about to get to the Leo. And I'm sorry, Jackie, I'm listening to your comment again. And definitely email me for the solar return and tell your husband to read out to me. I told him to send me some information about the work he's doing, but he never did. Yeah. And hopefully the kids are doing well too. Yeah. It's from Eric at BigEAstrology.com. So, and I may have been a forward, sometimes forwards. Oh, okay. Oh, was that a super chat? Thank you so much. Um, I believe. I don't know. I can't really tell. Oh, yeah. Thank you. You know, um, yeah. Sorry, this is a little jarring, I think, trying to manage both. But I want to get started. And just other announcements, the Virgo birth chart sale, 305-206, natal solar return secondary progression, Eric at BigEAstrology.com. And I highly recommend solar return. And honestly, it's not just for me. It is a blessing to me, but for you guys, solar returns you should really do every year because it's going to be different based on the current alignments. And it literally tells a story. As I always tell you the story, but I just like to give you um, not just a testimonial, but confirmation that I did it one year for my cousin, and I saw that she needed to go to a doctor, and thankfully she did. But it turned out she had cysts, but it was not cancerous, but it was in the chest. But I could see it. I saw some things in the eighth house and stuff like that, and so, this is where it really shows you the major themes of life. Annual perfections is good to do too. It's just not as detailed as a solar return. You know what I mean? And then the progress chart. Remember, the moon switches signs and houses every in transit for like every day, 2.5 days. But for a secondary progression chart, oh, sorry, my back hurt, which is in the Bible, 1 day equals 1 year. And we'll talk to Micah Dank more about stuff like that and many other ancient occult secret topics. It's 2.5 years. So at 27, so 26, 27, it's back in your home sign, your moon. And then at like 54, 55. So I just went through, I'm still going through, the moon is back in Capricorn for me in my progress chart. So it's like I kind of feel like I'm back to myself, if that makes sense. And it's interesting. So I recommend a progress chart depending on your age. Let's say, just say you were born 1 degree Virgo. Well, in 29 more degrees, you'll be a Libra. So that means 29 years old, you'll be vibrating as a Libra. So just count the degrees. So whenever you're switching, right, and then after you get to the next sign, then add another 30, right? So if it was that 19 and then 30, right, 49 years old, you're going to be a Scorpio. You should be doing it again. But you could do it more often than that because the ascendant degree can switch depending on what it starts at. And then obviously I said the moon every 2.5 years. So let's get started, and I'll get back to some comments in the chat. And thank you for everybody that's here. Please hit the like button for me. And do me a favor, guys, when you can, after the show's over, or even when I have some of these podcast guests on, do me a favor and go back and leave a comment. It just really helps me grow in the algorithm. And I'm so humble and thank you that I'm getting close to the 10K. And, I'm just growing everywhere. My TikTok's over 1,000 now. My IG is about to hit 2,000. And I'm feeling a lot of momentum. And I just, I send the love and thank you to you guys and all the new subscribers, right, coming from Stars and Cars Lounge and Searchlight Tarot. Please go follow and subscribe. Stars and Cars Lounge, we released our first video over this weekend. We'll have another video coming out, I think, Wednesday and Friday. And I think tentatively our first live was going to be September 19th. We decided to move it up because the people are getting eager. The channel's growing. I mean, in just a week, we have already over 500 subscribers. And I think we'll probably be able to monetize like in the next 2 weeks. So please go watch videos, subscribe. It's just really great. And we wanted to create, Elena from Searchlight Towers and Aquarius, Eric from BigEAstrology is a Virgo. But the Stars and Cars Lounge, we wanted to create a place where not only astrology meets tarot, but a place in these crazy times where, yeah, we're going to give you the tarot and oracle cards and astrology insights and readings, but We also want to create a place where you could also just watch and have a little fun. Because I think we all need the Leo, right? A little bit more joy and fun and play and gratitude. So let's get started. Leo in all 12 houses for all 12 rising signs. And we're going to start off with Leo in the first house, Leo risings. So if you're a Leo rising, you definitely, can have striking hair and sometimes even feline features. The eyebrows, I know, Jacqueline, you had that. The eyebrows can be very feline or cat-like, and you've got great hair too. But you know what I mean? Like you can definitely have that look to you, male or female. And I've even seen it with gentlemen or fellows that got a baldy. They still got like this like look. But remember, kids are very big for you, right? The Leo is the sun, and Leo risings. There's a lot of fun and adventure with kids having the Leo in the first house, but also there is this regal royal energy. Remember, it's a fixed fire sign for your ascendant, and so that's your aura. The first house is literally the upper jaw to the crown chakra, but it's how others see you and perceive you, your physical appearance, your outer mass. Remember during the pandemic, 6 feet apart? It's no accident they said that. That's the auric field. That's your aura. So with Leo, it really shines bright like a diamond, and people feel your energy. You could be like a Pisces and a like Aquarius moon. They won't even notice. They're going to see that Leo rising and just feel like that lion or lioness energy from you, very literally. Okay. So, at this point, you're dealing with Mercury still there. But tomorrow, guess who's coming to Leo? Venus. I'll be releasing a YouTube short, an IG and TikTok video I recorded this weekend. I'll either put that out tonight or first thing in the morning, kind of just talking about Venus, Leo, and the energy. It's going to be a nice little run. So enjoy that. And love is in the air for Aquarius, Leo, Capricorn, and Aquarius risings. It could be a good time for love and relationships and dating and all that stuff. Another thing too with Leo on the ascendant, there's a lot of creative self-expression that you've got to release. That 12th house is Cancer. So there is Leo risings don't want the world to know how emotional and sensitive they really are behind closed doors, because the emotions can run really deep for you. Okay. But Jupiter's there now to June 30th, 2026 to help you to build your emotional intelligence and to awaken the divine feminine. Listen, a lot of people were out of balance. We got to have the healthy, divine feminine and sacred masculinity to be balanced, not toxic masculinity or this overcorrection that it's been like anything that a man does that's like assertive and aggressive is toxic. That's fugazi. Don't fall into that trap. They're always trying to divide men and women, and men and women need to come together. And so do healthy, loving families, because there's like a real attack on all of us, whether you're aware of it or not. I mean, you should be able to see it. It's pretty freaking clear, but it's been going on for a while. Remember I told you we're already in World War III. It's spiritual warfare. It's been happening. And I don't know if it started at Jekyll Island or the Federal Reserve, but it's been since the 1920s or 30s, or maybe the formation of this country. Who knows? But spiritual warfare has been around for a long time, Lucy. So let's go to Virgo risings. So the Leo's in the 12th house. When you, in your birth chart, you have Leo in the 12th house, and I'll check in the chat after this one before we move on to Libra. But when you have Leo in your 12th house, that's your hidden talents. That's overspending. That's isolation. That's the bedroom. That's the subconscious, unconscious mind. That's dreams. That's fantasies. It's also hidden enemies. So Virgo risings, you could have a Leo, Sun, Moon, rising hitting enemy, but Virgo risings secretly, you are, and that's what I was saying with Leo and ascendant, you could be the entertainer or politician. That's very much associated with Leo energy, right? Entertainment and political sphere. I mean, they can do anything, but I'm just saying those are like two of the major themes. But, high vibrational Leo is willing to share the spotlight. It's very generous. And this is not just for the sun. This is even an empty house. So when you have the Leo in the 12th house, you really want to take out that singing in the shower, that rapping in your bedroom, that poetry or painting, sculpting, designing you do, and you want to share it with the rest of the chart. Whatever's in the 12th house, you really need to share it to the rest of the chart. Sorry, when I'm not listening to you guys, I should probably take this off because then I can hear it better. But you know what I mean? Like that's really important to bring those gifts and talents out. And also sometimes with Leo in the 12th house, you can be well received literally in foreign lands. And you know, you may have some sort of past life connection to royalty and things like that, but you could also have a lot of dreams about, you know, powerful people or entertainers, or your dream is to be a politician or entertainer. There could be a lot of things there in the subconscious. The 12th house is very powerful and spiritual, but never forget the overspending. So you could overspend on, you know, like entertainment, or like maybe like you go to see like, you know, too many concerts each year, like you're like spending like way too much money, you know, things like that. But this is also going abroad for trips and international business too, import exports, which, you know, I don't know right now. Do you guys feel it? Like something's coming. The world is crazy. Don't let the vitriol and the division from like this, you know, crazy person down in DC to, you know, get you to just hating one another and the separation. That's what they want. You know, a lot of these same things would have been happening even if, you know, somebody else was in there winning. Because remember, the presidents are puppets, right? It's all controlled by the one percenters, and now the technocrats like the Peter Thiels and Elon Musk and the head of Google and this and that. Like, you know, pay attention to some of these moves and deals that are happening, even with Paramount, CBS. It's very fugazi, Lucy. Don't ever get tricked or fooled. You know what I mean? And have spiritual discernment, because I feel like, you know, whether it's around these eclipses or, you know, something with I feel like there's going to be something around like a false flag event or something. Like I feel like something's brewing. I don't know why it's not highlighting or it's not reading. Hold on. Oh, here we go. So, you know, that's. Hey, Jennifer Sweet. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, astrologers do have talent. What's up, girl? Beep, beep, the wind blowing. I'm flying solo tonight, so I'm listening to your comments and through the headphones. But it's always good to see you, Jennifer Sweet. You got to come to the Knowledge is Love Tribe. Yeah, the kids are good. I'm so glad. That's great. Hey, Quintella, welcome, my friend. Hope you and your sister and your daughter are doing well. And oh my God, Kim Kayla, where have you been? Happy birthday, my friend. And yeah, Virgo moon, you can book a solar return or secondary progression chart. The sales rocking. But it's just good to see you, Kim. I want Kim and Jacqueline to join the tribe so you can meet all these amazing people. Our tribe meetings, Quintella and Danny and Steven, the Jupiterian, will tell you, and Gigi. But even this last one, it's so funny because each time we have a tribe meeting, I'm like, oh my God, that was the best ever. But then I say that like even Friday, oh my God, that was the best ever. Like even Nettie being under the weather, the way that she came through and delivered, it was so beautiful. We were talking about it at Coffee Talk. Hopefully some of you guys that are premium members rewatch the replay of the Coffee Talk, Saturn and Pisces. But, you know, we're really doing some big things in the tribe, and it's very humbling, and it's just growing and expanding. The prices will go up. So the great time to join is now, because of the equinox, it's going to go from $5 to $10 and then from 18 to 23. Okay. But the people who are in now, it's going to stay at the $5 membership or at the $18 membership. That's a lifetime thing. Cause I wanted to do that, you know, I wanted to do that for you guys, but, oh my God. In October, I just booked, for those in the tribe that know, Brandon put in something about doing a fruit fast. This is a British guy, Jamaican British guy from Harlem, or lives in Harlem. He's not from Harlem. Orville Douglas, and he's a fruitarian, and he's coming on in October. We're going to go live Saturday, October 11th. And then I'm trying to get in September, I'm going to get Chrissy, forget her last name. She's the channeler. She's really good and I think she does some live readings. But I keep forgetting to say Friday. I kind of told you Friday at 3 p.m. Amy Robeson's coming on. So that's going to be really good. So come Friday early. And then I start off September, you guys, my birthday month, with Queen Bee. Now, you may not like sports, but it's going to be fun. You know how amazing Numeralytics is, Queen Bee. And did you guys go watch that episode with Jazz Aphrodite? Breaking down Angie stuff. Jazz Aphrodite is brilliant. Like, I'm in awe of her. Like, she's like my hero. She's super, super, and we have the same cardology, Ace of Spades, I think. So, she broke down the cardology of the passing of Angie Stone, and it was a fun and informative episode, but very deep. And I'm going to get back to Leo in the 11th house for Libra risings, but yeah, keep leaving your comments and stuff. I hope everybody's hitting the like button, and Jennifer and Kim and Jacqueline. Make sure you guys please join the community. You will freaking love it. It's been such a joy and a pleasure, So there was something funny that I want to tell you guys. God, what was it? Oh, okay. It's not really reading it properly, but okay. I just had like a little moment today. I'm going to share with you before I get back to it. I'm coming up on my 4th anniversary of my near-death experience. So this time of year is it's kind of emotional. And for those of you who don't know, I just lost my aunt. My aunt passed away last Saturday. She was 89. She was a Gemini, and it was when the moon was in Gemini, just coming off of Uranus. She was a Libra rising and Aries moon, so it was in her, in the 9th house. But the last month when the moon went over Uranus, she got kind of like a charge. So I was wondering what was going to happen this time, but she kind of passed heart and kidney failure. So I've been a little, I'm happy because I know death it's an illusion, right? You have eternal life. Like I feel her presence. And when we were doing the light language and Nettie was doing her stuff, I actually had a vision and saw my aunt. And it was just such a confirmation. I mean, listen, even though I'm like very spiritual and deep water faith, you guys know I got the crazy Virgo stellium. I kind of still need some proof and evidence. And that confirmation was like, okay, dumb Virgo. Well, I mean, I say dumb, I'm not dumb, but okay, silly Virgo, here you go. Like, and I know it, right? But it's just still, I think there's something with the Virgo mercurial mind, and maybe Geminis feel it too. We're very logical people. So even though we could be super spiritual and have deep water faith, like I really have deep water faith. That's one reason why I'm here. And then all the love and prayers from everybody. But, that my aunt was good and all that stuff. But I was sitting down by my tree today. I was listening to the song Nobody from Nas and Lauryn Hill. It was from a Nas album 4 years ago. And it was like Lauryn Hill making like another comeback. And when Lauryn Hill spits bars, I don't know. Jazz said she liked Bahamadia, who I rhymed with years ago at the not the new music seminar, at the Rocksteady reunion. But I think Lauryn Hill is the best female MC ever, even better than Latifah, Remy Ma, Nicki Minaj, or MC Lyte, or Antoinette. It's hands down, it's Lauryn Hill. Because she could also go into the music and sing, but she could just her writing, her precision, her bars are just insane. And Geminis are the best MCs. Virgo, we're up there. Libra, Aquarius, and Sag, those are the top 5. But so anyway, I was listening to it, and then I went down by the tree and I recorded a video. I shared it on my IG today. But and if you guys don't follow me on X, IG, and TikTok, please. I really appreciate it. But so what I was saying is that I just my mother went into the hospital August 27th, so that's coming up this week. And Friday the 29th is when I went in 4 years ago, and my oxygen was down to 56%. But I was talking to one of my sons the other night, and because I'm in a documentary film, and it's scheduled to come out to theaters this winter. It's called Interdimensional,
about near-death experiences and spiritual transformative experiences. So I'm really excited and proud of that. And I'm in an astrology NDE book with Laura Bruno. So just a lot of things going on. And I started writing my NDE book as I'm editing and finishing up my astrology book. So you can see how wild and busy I am. But, you know, when I was sitting there at the tree and I made the video, I was just thinking about, not about just the deep water faith, but it took 72 days for me to be able to feel the sun and be in nature and hug my kids again. You know, when I transferred from the second hospital to then to go to the rehab facility. And, you know, when you're trapped inside of a hospital that long and in coma for 40 days, like, and I had to relearn how to breathe, swallow, I mean, everything. I had to rebuild my entire body and life. And I'm still, you know, I still deal with like pains and stuff. Although I feel pretty decent today. My acupuncturist came on a Saturday and hit me up with some good stuff. So, but yeah, I'm saying all that to say that, you know, my love for hip hop, it's not like a lot of people. Like it's really a big part of who I am. Growing up in New York, I say like the younger brother of hip hop, right? I mean, Bambaataa and these guys, you know, a little bit older, like about 8 years older than me. KRS and those guys, they're like 5 years older. He's the same age and went to elementary school in Harlem with my stepbrother. And, you know, like 60 years old, but, you know, Africa Bambaataa and Kool Herc, they're more like 63, 64. But these are the foundations and pillars of hip hop, right? And so I'm like the younger brother of hip hop. And, you know, when I was in coma, Alana and the boys, they couldn't come see me. So it was over FaceTime, over the phone. They literally played Nobody from Lauryn Hill and Nines because I was jamming that all the time before I got sick. And then they played KRS and Tribe and De La. And literally while I was in coma, I started like bopping and dancing. And you guys have probably heard the story before. Some of you new people to me and my channel may not have. But that, you know, the doctors, although they had to tell Alana to stop because my blood pressure started to go up, if you could imagine. I mean, you guys, I was like totally out like a limp noodle, but then the hip hop came on and I started dancing and like my wife and kids got excited, but the doctors were like, stop. And Lana got scared. She's like, did I hurt him? And she was like, no, Mrs. Taylor, but his blood pressure started to go up, but it's a good sign because we know that he's in there. You know what I mean? And so, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place and please forgive me, but you know, it's just, it's a lot, you know, I went through a lot. And I'm just so honored to be here to know some of you and meet some of you, but to do chart readings for most of you here, but to even develop real friendships. And it just, I don't know. I'm feeling a little nostalgic right now. Okay. Forgive me. It's Virgo season and, you know, all that I went through, it's heavy for a brother. But I love you guys, like my tribe, when I come to the podcast. The fact that one of you is here when I go live, that means so much to me. You could be anywhere now, but let me get to what we're doing here. Libra. So Leo in the 11th house. When you have Leo in the 11th house, that's what groups, organizations, nonprofit, philanthropic work, your father's siblings, wild exotic animals, stepchildren. That's the internet, astrology, aliens, UFOs. It's philanthropic, nonprofit, environmental work. It's the arena. It's long-term investments. It's the actual politicians like, I even hate to say it, but like Trump, Vance, Congress, Senate. Honestly, right now, not right now, just all the time. It doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican. Everybody in DC, they should be in prison, okay? And probably everybody, and for you, Jacqueline, right, in Canada too. You know, the politicians and this stuff. It's the corruption is just, I don't even know what to say. It's insane. I'm trying to see if I can listen. It's not working. Forgive me, guys. I'm trying to get this pumping. I don't know. All right. Maybe it's going to come now. So, Leo, another thing about Leo in the 11th house, your friends groups can be politicians, can be entertainers, right? There can be a lot of creativity, but there could be battles for attention and spotlight. So you could definitely deal with some fake friends, Libra risings, you know, in terms of the somebody wanting to steal your shine. Because remember, the 11th house is social networks. So your social network could be a bunch of people in Hollywood or just, theater in New York or just artists or entertainers, creatives, but there could be some envy and jealousy. So watch out for that. And remember, we're just talking about Leo, but if wherever the sun is at, the sun itself is a mild malefic. So sometimes it can burn the house. Remember, for any of you guys that have the Sun Venus conjunction, sometimes that can literally describe that the relationship with you and your father is not so nice, no bueno. Okay, that's one thing that Sun conjunct Venus can do in the natal birth chart. Okay, so let's get to Scorpio risings. Let me see if I can get. Oh my God, if I can get some of your comments. Oh, hey, Teresa Miller. Oh my God. We missed you at the tribe meeting. Thank you for the condolences. Yeah. She was so sweet, and she had a great sense of humor. Hey, Mama Missy, she did not like Trump. I would have to talk to her. My cousin like, can you call your aunt and talk politics with her? Yeah. Thank you, Mama. And so thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. And we talked about it at the tribe meeting. It was beautiful. Thank you, Quintella. I appreciate that. And you guys, we love you too, Mama. Yeah, it's just so much appreciation because I think just in general, you guys are such good human beings, and I feel it. Even through the computer, we haven't met face to face, but like it's and I want you guys to know, like, there's no facade or fakeness with like me and my wife. Like, we're just like regular people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like a normal dude, regular cat. I mean, and I'm really me, like authentic all the time. Like my silliness, my seriousness, like that's just me all the time. I'm actually a very serious person, but I love to laugh. Remember, remember the executives are doing this 30 minutes of joy, play, gratitude a day. Well, I try to do more than 30, and I keep Alana laughing. I think that's why she keeps me around. But we are like best friends, but we really do love each other. It's kind of storybook, you know what I mean? It really is. And from every confirmation, from soul contracts, astrology, numerology, we are really soulmates. And it's very humbling, but it shows you, and I'm going to tell you, when you wait on God, this is not a humble brag or anything, but there were a lot of women that I was dating before her that if I proposed to, they would have married me. I had a lot of, I was a serial monogamous. I had some very serious relationships, Aquarius, a couple, Aquarius, another Pisces, someone else that, I could have married. But, when like I knew they weren't my wife. And so the hardest breakups, you guys, are like when you're an adult in your 30s and you're with someone and they didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. But like I had to fish, like I had to throw the fish back into the ocean, right? So I'm not wasting their time if they want to get married and still procreate, even though one of them already had kids, the other one didn't. But I knew Uranus, Libra, 12th house, I had a vision and dream, and I saw Lana, and I saw that her name began with an A, and I saw like her wrist holding the pole on the 1 train or the 9 train in New York City. I literally saw her. And then when I was in relationships, I would see my girlfriends, kind of scary, right? But I would see my girlfriends when they weren't with me. But I dreamt about Alana before I met her, just like I dreamt about 9/11 2 years before it happened, and that's kind of wild. But that's Uranus. So let's get to Leo in the 10th house, Scorpio risings. Ding, 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 me and Danny. Having Leo, and Danny be stunting on him. Danny, it's your time tomorrow. You got the Venus coming back home, brother. Kind of hurts my ears. I kind of have big ears. It's so funny. Alana's got these little tiny ears, and tiny wrists. We joke about that. But, with Scorpio rising, having Leo in the 10th house, you got to consider it's also the Aries in the 6th. Scorpio risings do better having their own business. They're natural leaders. And having the Leo in the 10th house, you can be at work very regal. You want to be kind of like the authority. You know what I mean? You can, not that you're always going to, Scorpio risings aren't going to always challenge authority because they're very kind of loyal people. But even think about the Aries in the sixth house, they're independent, right? They want to get things done. They're like, they don't want to wait for somebody to tell them what to do. They just like see something needs to get done. Like when I was a teacher, my principal needed me. Like I was the computer teacher, I was the art teacher, I was substitute here, I would do that. I was the music teacher. You know, when somebody got fired or somebody was sick, like they would ask me to step in. Like I'm not an artist. I'm an artist like lyrically and poems and writing, but painting and drawing. Oh my God. But what did I do with the kids? You know, my special needs disabled kids. I had all the kids, we were doing letters and we put them up all over the school. And each class was, you know, doing different letters in the alphabet, you know, which was a lot for them to do. And they would design it their own personal way. And the principal loved it. And we put it up all over the school and it was so popular. But that was my creativity. I came up with something and the kids loved it. And you know, I had very severely, I had autism, Down syndrome, Tourette's, cerebral palsy, MR, and Down syndrome, and blindness. But to be actually, honestly, not all the kids were blind, but the kids that were blind, that was a lot of them. That was the least of their disabilities. They had more issues than just being blind. So it was God's work, and it was very challenging. So when you have Leo in the 10th house too, you kind of have that like boss energy. Now I'm talking about bare butt naked houses. But as we're going around, you guys can comment, you know, if you have planets in certain houses, and we could talk about that too. So I hope you guys know that that's cool. And hopefully I can get this thing, you know, reading properly and stuff. But, you know, for Scorpio risings, like I know, Danny, you got Venus there, you know, Leo, Venus in the 10th house. It's like, you know, you want to do things in public for your legacy and reputation that are very Venusian. So aesthetics, making things look beautiful, fashion, music, DJing, arts, culture, you know, even relationships, right? You can meet like wifey out in, you know, and I don't know if your daughter's mother, like if you met her literally like out in public, or she had a Leo, sun, moon, rising, like that type of stuff, you know, because that's Venus, Leo, 10th house, for an example, right? You know, just personally for you, but anybody with just like a butt naked, I know it's funny to say that, right? But like just nothing. Okay, let me say that's better, probably more appropriate. But an empty house. But you know, I'm just being authentic. That's how I say it. That's my slang, right? Butt naked house, right? Ain't nothing up in that house, Leo. You also, for Scorpio risings, the Leo is always going to be associated with that father energy too. But just remember, Scorpio risings can do very well in entertainment, right? I was a very talented actor. I did, I didn't have a great career, but I was able to, you know, pay bills and get life, you know, health insurance, and meet a lot of people, and kind of get in, have some fun, and get out without anybody being inappropriate with me. So I think that in itself is an accomplishment, because, you know, I saw things, you know, it was starting to get that way even back in the 90s. You know, I mean, you know, they've had casting couch and stuff like that in the 40s, 50s. I mean, Marilyn Monroe and all those people went through it, right? Dorothy Dandridge. But I think in terms of the more demonic and vitriol energy of it, that started, I feel, more in the 90s. And I definitely was aware. And, you know, I was an early, you know, as, you know, people like to label, oh, conspiracy theorist. But I'm like, how dumb is that term? Because when people say that, it's like, that's what's been spoon-fed to you to say that term. You didn't make that term up. That term came up after Kennedy was taken out to make sure that you did not question the truth from the authorities. So really, you should take that word out of your lexicon, because the reality is, as far as conspiracy theories go, like in the last 5 to 10 years, probably batting about 90-95% have been all real and true. Okay, so we should kind of, you know, I think it's so interesting, and that's part of the matrix, that there's a lot of people who they're afraid to question my government, my daddy, my Wall Street Journal, my New York Times, my New York Post, my ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, Fox. All of it's fugazi. And that's what I want you guys to understand. If they're talking, they're lying. And that can be very jarring. Do you realize the hardest thing for human beings to be able to do is say sorry, or to admit to be, and to apologize full-hearted, or to admit to being wrong, or to admit to be living wrong, or following the wrong person? You know, and that's why I say, be a leader. Don't ever follow anybody. You know, question me. I'm not, you know, I'm not holier than thou. I'm far from perfect. But I'm also someone who's authentic and pure, and I'm never going to try to mislead, right? People will tell you in the tribe, I came on and admitted to a mistake in front of the tribe as an astrologer because we all make mistakes. So, just that's when you know someone's real. You know what I'm saying? When they can be like, fall on the sword or just be like, hey, you guys, I got that wrong, or I made a mistake, or, oh, and what do I tell you? Like here, if you guys ask questions and I don't know, I'll say, oh, I don't know. I don't try to make crap up for you. I say, I don't know, but I'll try to find out the answer, or I'll just say, oh, my opinion is this, but I'm not 110% sure. So, that's what you want from anybody. You know what I mean? And so for me, I never want to mislead any human, let alone my wife, my kids, or myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these things that I tell you guys, I try it, right? Castor oil in the belly button, it works for me. It may not work for Jacqueline or Jackie or Evelyn or Danny or Gigi or Mama Miss. Now, research and science says it works, but every human's body chemistry is different. But I will tell you, for the best sleep, tape over the mouth, castor oil in the belly button, and your head facing to the south and then second to the east. Sleep like a baby. And this is from someone who was sick since 2013, and I sleep pretty good now because I do those things. I stopped the tape over the mouth. It's hard to get good tape. You wake up and your lip, and especially for a gentleman, you got the mustache. You know what I mean? So, anywho, I could talk forever about that. I'm going to get to your comments in a second, so you can write them down. But the ninth house, Sagittarius rising. I know we got some Sag risings here. So Leo in the ninth. Oh man, you're the regal king and queen when you go on vacations, when you travel. When you are the, you could be interesting, the dynamics with you and your father and his teachings. But the ninth house is also your wisdom, beliefs, philosophies, the law, more like the religious, righteous law, not like Libra law. That's the courthouse that we see in the seventh house, the scales of justice. The ninth house is more like the, higher law, the spiritual laws. It's also pilgrimages. It's right. It's abundance, fortune, and luck. Think of it as the left leg of the chart, and the fifth house is the right leg. The ninth house is also your grandchildren, you guys. And you also could see there the skills of your third child. I'm sorry, the skills of your second child. You could see your third child there if you've got him. I got 4. And that's actually kind of interesting. My third child, Cancer. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So, but also you can see there, it unlocks the blessings of the ascendant, abundance, fortune, luck, the ninth house. It's pretty interesting, but it's also where you can see publishing, writing a book at 32, 44, 56. Those are the ages of the ninth house. That's annual perfection, insight, and information, which you may not get on other channels. So let me see how you guys are doing, and then we'll go to Capricorn risings and stuff. Any questions or comments? And just remember, I love when you guys introduce yourselves to the new people that come and say hello to people. I don't know why it's not. Okay, now I got it. I'm reading you, Mama Miss. So, Venus, Sun, Aquarius, yeah. And it's detached. You had karma to pay off to your father. Aren't those hard relationships, Quintella? Yeah. Teresa. And Teresa, you were there for jazz. Wasn't that fun? Yep. Television. Hey. Hello, Irene. Dun, 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 dun. I'm running solo, Irene. So, how you feeling, Irene? And Irene, I'm telling you, you got to join the tribe. I don't know why it's not. So, how you been feeling, Irene? And how you guys doing? Awful tired? I'm so sorry. The energy is heavy. It's really heavy. This week, Steven saying hi to you. This week I felt I had to like postpone, my working on stars and cards because we record videos, like once or twice a week, and my body aches and pains, you guys. But remember, like Alana and I, we're dealing with these eclipses heavier than most because we're Virgo Pisces axis. And then even one of my sons is a Gemini. So Geminis and Sages, like Ev and and some of you Geminis that are here, you guys, as a Sag, you guys can feel this because that's the square of the nodes and the eclipses. And Uranus being in Gemini, that's not just tough for Geminis or Gemini risings like Quintella. It can affect the Sag risings and Sag sun signs, the opposition. Remember, November 7th goes back to Taurus. And it's kind of like, I think these retrogrades back, Saturn to Pisces, Neptune to Pisces, Uranus to Taurus, going back to the feminine signs, it's with Jupiter and Cancer this time. So that's different. It's going to close out 25 and go into, February and April 2026. And one of the ways to survive this stuff is the awakening of the divine feminine, right? That sacred womb and that portal. The more you guys soften and come into your nurturing, caring, not the masculine energy, oh, I'm a boss lady, this and that. That was just to get you guys to be in the IRS and the tax system, right? Remember the hand that rocks the cradle. That's the most important thing, right? That births the nation and raises the home and family. But also the medicine women and the healers, right? They weren't witches. These were like the real healers. And, women have more spiritual powers than men. You just do. I'm not in competition with anybody. So I'm man enough to say that. Men, we have our powers and our abilities and skills, right? Even Bible, right? Ezekiel, Daniel, there's different prophets that have visions and dreams. Daniel was great, you know what I mean? So, and I know for myself, I have very prophetic visions and dreams. But overall, that's the role of the women. There's definitely gifted men, but women are more spiritually like, y'all are no joke, you know? Over here, I got much love for the ladies. Hey, ladies, have you been watching my series? Did you guys like it? I think I've been doing it on YouTube Shorts, but it's mainly been on Instagram. I've been saying the real truth about the women from Aries to Pisces. It's been on my IG and TikTok. Go watch it out. It's real, real good, and I'll be uploading. I think I'm up to Cancer. No, I'm up to Leo. I'm going to put up Virgo after this tonight, but I'm up to Leo on YouTube Shorts. Do you guys ever watch my YouTube Shorts? They're pretty good. I try. Listen, I told you, I'm about to be 55. I don't know all the fancy algorithms and stuff like that. Yes, am I trying to learn? Yes. Alana's like, oh, you need to spend more time learning that. I was like excited, like, oh, I can go live by myself without anybody. She's like, what? I'm not talking bad about her, but it's just sometimes it's like one thing about Pisces, and I dealt with this with my my cousin growing up. Pisces women, Pisces in general, but more so the women, they're very like, it's not bossy, but it's like they're like the sage grandma. So they're always telling you like, what they think you should do. And like, well, I didn't really ask your opinion. I'm telling you what I'm excited about, that I'm going to be able to go live by myself and not have to bother anybody, wife and kids. You all can do what you want to do. I want to go live for an hour. It helps my channel grow, but I like connecting with you guys. This is also fun for me because I like you guys. You know what I mean? I don't like a lot of people. Like, oh my God. And I really mean that. Like, I've met you guys. Like, all of you guys are freaking awesome. I just haven't met Irene, but pretty much everybody here. I think I met everybody here except for Irene and Jennifer. And that's crazy because Irene and Jennifer, I've known longer than a lot of you guys. And I haven't met them yet. Ain't that sad? Do you see the tears in my? They don't really love me. So, no, I know you guys love me. All right, so I'm gonna just check out some more comments, and then Capricorn risings. So, yeah, I know, Mama, the energy. Yeah, we got to eat more fruit, you guys. Oh, sorry, Irene. Well, don't say you're neurotic. We don't want to give power to words. Okay. We don't want to give power to words. We've got to watch. Remember, the negative thoughts, we cut them off here so they don't go down the escalator and get dispensed out the boca. Muy malo. Right? Even I got to say it, right? My back feels great. My shoulder feels great. Mama Miss and Irene Mac, you guys feel great. You're feeling better every day. And don't forget the code 55515. Say it 12 times. Look at the body part or visit it in your mind's eye, your third eye. That helps too, right? That's a code that helps. 55515. So what do we do? The ninth house, right? So eighth house, Capricorn risings, my twins, and some of my friends and clients here. When you have Leo in the eighth house, like you light up. You light up about the secret societies and the mysteries of the world. Even when you're kids, I see it with my boys, like they talk about some stuff, and I'm like, whoa, you're only 12, like, and it's not like inappropriate, but they're not afraid of like, mysteries or death and rebirth or the veil, because that's the third house, right? It's another portal house. Remember the water houses, 4, 8, and 12, very powerful and spiritual houses. And then for health, 4, 6, 8, and 12 are very important too. Okay. So with Leo in eighth house, there's a lot of stuff to deal with power, control, sex, manipulation, other people's resources, mortuary, funeral homes, sudden events, emergencies. It's also the sign, if you're a Cap rising, Leo, Sun, Moon risings are physically, sexually attracted to you. Okay. The eighth house shows that. It's also the in-laws. But I think, just having Leo here, but naked, it's also where you can become somewhat of an authority or have like a sudden raise or sudden inheritance or windfall of kazash. But you could work as a spy. You could work for the government, CIA, FBI, IRS. You know what I mean? Or you could be that entertainer like, what's my man? You guys know his name. That passed away. So brilliant. He was the Joker. Heath Ledger. Oh my God. You could be like Heath Ledger or River Phoenix's brother, Joaquin. Like you morph into characters. One of my favorite actors of all time, one of the best, Gary Oldman. Do you guys know his work? Did you see True Romance when he played he's British or European? He played like the Jamaican white boy in True Romance. He bodied that role. Oh my God, those are the best actors when you can shapeshift and morph, and that's where I'm good at, right? Because I have Neptune on the ascendant. Like I can morph into anything, anybody. Like that's what I'm like. I'm confident with that. Like I said in one of my rhymes, I'm humble, confident, and cocky. Well, one thing that I'm going to be confident and cocky about is like how I can morph and shapeshift into different characters and voices as an actor. And that's why I like to do the sketch comedy. But when, Leo 8th house, yeah, you could get into like the Heath Ledger, the Gary Oldmans, Sir Anthony Hopkins. You could play those dark roles, Daniel Day-Lewis, My Left Foot. Or what was that one with the something in New York? Oh my God, he played some old character. Him and DiCaprio. Oh my God, excuse me, I'm tired. Kids slept over last night. Lana and I were up late hanging out, talking and just chilling. Oh my God. So let's keep it moving. Aquarius. Leo in the 7th house. So Leo in the 7th house, there is this energy, you guys, where Aquarians are attracted to someone who's independent like them. And Leos, they like attention, but they march to their own drum. Leos are like Aries. They're going to do what they want to do. Then, fire signs don't really ask permission. Sometimes it can be hard, depending on your chart, to date fire signs because they kind of do what they want to do when they want to do it. You got to be able to handle that. And sometimes water and earth may not be able to deal with that. Libras can't always deal with that. So like you got to deal with that energy. But, for the Aquarius risings, that Venus-Pluto opposition is going to be interesting. You're going to feel that the 25th, 26th, and 27th, probably to the 28th. Venus, definitely to the 27th. But 25th, 26th, 27th, Venus-Pluto opposition. There's going to be some things revealed this week. Watch. I was going to say that in Astro Weather, but you guys are here. You guys, please watch my Astro Weathers. For some people that watch, it makes me feel good and they comment. Some of you guys watch and don't comment, but if you pay attention, I'd be predicting a lot of stuff. I don't always go back and cut and edit it and like, look at me, I got something right. A lot of astrologers do that. Good for them. I've done it once or twice because it was like some things that were like really kind of cool that I've done. But if you watch, like I do it on the regular. So watch my Astro Weather reports. I think I do a pretty good job. And I try to really give you a clarity of like how to eat that week, how to like move your body, all that stuff. Sometimes it gets redundant just because the energy is redundant. Like some of these outer planets and these things that affect the collective have not been moving that lot. So if I ever sound repetitive, it's just that like I'm only reading the energy. So Leo in the 7th house, you could do very well in the marketplace. You can definitely have fame and entertainment, Aquarius risings. They really can. And you want a woman or a man that can creatively express themselves or that can be an authority in their position, in their career, their job. Aquarius risings, it may be hard to have like a business partnership. Sorry, my back's starting to hurt. That could be challenging because that access, you're very independent. Okay. So I'll go back to the chat in a second and you guys can comment anything. Pisces. So 6th house, Pisces risings, Leo in the 6th, Hammer, put them in the mix. So, the 6th house, you're an adult, your work, your daily routine, your health, your hygiene, small pets, your mother's siblings, debt, divorce, conflicts, co-workers and bosses. You could deal with a lot of jealousy, but you could be the leader in your career. You could be very regal. The more generous you are, it's going to be good karma. Because remember, the 6th house is your service to humanity. So this is where, how sometimes they used to have like people that do little theater groups or do some sort of entertainment stuff into the schools, like those troops. I did something once in a school in Harlem. It was like an acting gig. And, so that's a very Pisces rising thing. Leo 6th house. Your work could be in the entertainment industry, or Pisces risings could be politicians. Maybe more local. Sometimes you can see the community leaders in the 3rd house. We'll get to that, but like, Leo 6th house, that could definitely be a thing. You may really light up when you have a pet. Okay, Leo in the 6th house, you could really light up when you have a pet, definitely. Let me check in with the chat. Any comments and stuff with you guys? You guys. Oh my God, do you guys remember that from the Goonies? Hey, you guys. I love the Goonies. That was oh my God. When I watched it with my boys, they freaking loved it. Oh, sorry, this thing. I don't want to miss anybody, but it didn't. So, and Irene, I hope you're going to feel better. But remember, be positive. So, yeah. Saturn, Neptune's been tough for me in the 6th house. A lot of sinus and random headaches. I don't normally get headaches. Yeah. Oh, good. You got castor oil and mouth tape. Oh my God, Cam, I'm so happy for you. I want you all to get good sleep. Listen, sleep is so important. And remember, we should be sleeping between 10 and 6 a.m. Nothing good happens after 10 p.m. Take your ass to bed. And now, trust me, right? Like Alana, she can fall asleep at 9:30. I'm actually a night bird. If it was up to me, I'd be up to 2, 3 in the morning working. But when you got kids in the schedule, like I got to get to bed at 10 because I'm up every day at like 5:55 a.m. Alana's up at like 5. I'm up at like 5:55, 6 o'clock. But still, you know what I mean? Because I'm on kid patrol. So I get the kids up and get them organized, right? And then, she'll, take them to the bus or whatever. But like, I got to do my part, right? Alana does so much. I try to, like when they were little, I would be the one that had to take care of nighttime, and I pray with them at night every night now. But like, get them in the pajamas, help them, when they were little bathing and stuff like that. That was all daddy. You know, and that's when she used to sit on the sofa, watch her shows, and drink a little wine. She don't drink no more, but like she needed a break. So like, but that's teamwork, and anybody who's married, as a husband and a wife, you guys got to trade off. You can't let one, and it doesn't matter their gender, you can't let one parent do whatever. You know what I mean? So like she would be loading the dishwasher at night and cleaning up the kitchen and then chill on the sofa and watch whatever she wanted to watch while I was doing bath and bedtime and reading and books or whatever, So, it's all teamwork makes the dream work. You gotta, and fellas, we gotta step up, right? We can't leave our wives to do everything. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna really be cooking because she's 30 times better cook I am. Now, when she was working doing Quench Naturel, she'd be gone every weekend. I had to feed my mother, myself, and the boys. And I could cook decently. I'm just very spoiled. I tell you guys all the time, Alana is she could have her own restaurant. Like when you guys, sometimes she almost makes me cry. Like her food, she can burn. The girl can burn. That Taurus rising is no joke. She could cook her butt off. You see me smiling, right? Virgos, right? We have sensitive stomachs. So if you find somebody, I tell these boys, I say, you don't know what you have in your mother. You'd be lucky to find a woman when you get older that cooks as half as good as your mother. So I tell them, you guys need to learn how to cook. I want all my boys to be self-sufficient. You don't have to rely on nobody to cook. Like they already know how to cook. Jackson needs to get better. Mateus and William could cook. Elijah can cook. Jackson doesn't cook as good. He's like a little mini Eric. But he's the good athlete. He's got the rhythm. Got a lot of mouth too. I guess he gets a lot of attention from the girls already. The girls be the Taylor men, the Taylor boys. Lord have mercy. And my grandparents, I know what they went through. They had 2 daughters and they had four sons. Like I got 4 Taylor boys. So Aries rising. Sorry, I was listening to Mobb Deep's first album today. And Temperatures Rising. That was a joint, Shook Ones. Survival of the Fittest, only strong survive. Shout out to Prodigy, R.I.P. my brother, and Havoc. So such good music, man. Okay, so Aries rising is Leo in the 5th house. So, remember, the 5th house is not Leo's house. It's just associated with it. Any sign could be there. There are similar attributes, but it's not the exact same. The 5th house is gambling, lottery, fantasy sports, high school, college years, dating, romance, fun sex, ancient history, past life karma. 5th house is the stage. It's speculative gains. I want to start my own business, or Shopify, Etsy, eBay. It's, I want to be a singer, an actor, an MC, a poet, a painter, a sculptor. Right? That's all 5th house. 5th house is also your children, but it's the first child more specifically. So having Leo here, you could be very creative. You could be creative with your kids. Your firstborn could literally have a Leo sun moon rising or have Leo attributes. And remember, you're looking at the opposite house, tells part of the story. So they could have some Aquarius attributes too, or Leo Aquarius career. Also having the butt naked Leos in the 5th house, it does, 5th house does rule. Sorry, I didn't do the medical astrology. I normally like to do that, but 6th house is like more pancreas and lower intestine, stomach, right? Well, stomach is 4th house, but small and large intestine, digestion. The 5th house is your heart chakra and your back. 10th house is the spine. The back's the 5th house. So, you have to watch out for, because even if you have Leo there, you're going to have Regulus and usually Trans-Pluto there, which is Isis. If you guys bring that up, and that's another thing to look at, health issues. So, watch out for that. You can literally date, oh God, a Leo sun moon rising. And sometimes there can be competition with the person you date, or you can meet somebody that you're dating at a concert, a show. Right? I used to go to Central Park and see live performances. I saw Bismarck, The Roots, so many people. I think I saw Jaguar right there, or so what? One of the girls, maybe Lettucey. Y'all know Lettucey? My wife loves Lettucey. And Chrisette Michelle, I saw her there. Central Park, man. Oh my God, there used to be some dope concerts. The Roots was crazy. Bismarck was funny. Bismarck was forgetting his own, and R.I.P. Bismarck. Oh, I love Bismarck, but he was forgetting his lyrics. So the crowd, we were like helping him with "You Got What I Need," Just a Friend, and another song. It was kind of funny. But also, you remember the fifth house political discussion and debate, so you could definitely get into some political stuff too. And this is not necessarily local politics, but like you could get into some, political talk or whatever. So I'm listening to your comments again. Yeah. Okay. So that was the last thing, I guess, was the castor oil and the mouth tape. So let me know, and Kim, hey, Teresa, that solar return chart, or now for you, Kim, secondary progression may be good to get. Oh, Teresa, I'm glad I'm making you laugh. I hope I make you guys laugh. The fact that you spend time with me, like I want to always entertain you. I try to have fun no matter what I do. My life has been like, I've lived a pretty serious, intense life. My life's like a movie. So like anytime I can laugh, it's needed. Especially all that I've been through. 13 surgeries and so much since, I started taking care of my mom in '04. I kind of helped her out when I had to take care of the house when she had breast cancer surgery. But '04 is, and that was like 95, 96. But in '04 is when she had a brain cancer. Then I officially, but I was already like, I wasn't so much taking care of her back then. I was taking care of, her house. Like she had, we had tenants in the building and stuff. So I had to manage it. I took care of the garbage, the shoveling, the raking the leaves, and I had to manage stuff with the tenants. So I was taking care of other grown adults. God. And then I did a whole remodel of the building. I had to manage that while my mom had brain cancer, and I had deviated septum, 3 eye surgeries, or really 4 eye surgeries, cataracts, and I had something else, 3 cataracts. Oh, you want to hear something crazy before we get to who's next? Who's the square? Oh my God, I'm bugging. Who did we just did? Aries, Taurus. Oh, Taurus rising. Before we get to Taurus rising. Sorry, I had a brain fart. When I did the first cataract surgery, because of my visual impairment, the doctor didn't talk to me, and he put a yellow lens in my eye for cataracts. And I said, why would you do that? I can see color. I wear these glasses that protect my eyes better from the sun. Why would you so then he had to go back in and remove it after he did the left one. So I'd have an extra eye surgery. Isn't that crazy though? That he would just do that. I mean, I know he's thinking he's doing me a favor, right? Ultraviolet light, but like to wake up, imagine me, right? I'm waking up, the left eye, I'm seeing clear. The right eye, I'm seeing a yellow tint. I was hot. But he redid it, and they didn't really charge the insurance. And thankfully, the insurance I had when I was teaching was so good, I didn't really have to pay, but just the copay. But I was pissed off, man. Like, come on, how do you make that decision and not communicate? You know what I mean? That's crazy. So Taurus rising. So this is funny because Leo in the 4th house, you are literally the regal king and queen of your home. Any Taurus risings here, yeah. Alana, oh my God, she's like mommy's home. Like she's the queen, like I'm the king, like I have the final decision for a lot of things, but best believe if mama ain't happy, I bend and you know what I mean? Like my wife she's the best, but she's tough, she's tough, but I'm not that much of a stubborn person. I know one time somebody was in the chat and they were watching our live, and I guess we were joking a lot. And they said that I was very stubborn. And I'm like, no, I am a Scorpio rising, but most of my energy is mutable. But I'm actually not stubborn. I'm stubborn with like how I like my stuff and like food. Like I'm picky. I will admit to that. But Alana has opened me up. Do you know before Alana, I did not eat avocado, mushrooms, okra. Um, what else does she get me into? She got me into avocados, mushroom, okra. She's trying to get me into the relish now. That's a hard one for me, but it's good probiotics, so maybe I should do it, right? But yeah, I never ate avocados and okra and mushrooms, and there's a couple other things. She got me into it, you know. But you would try it too if you were married to somebody that cooks as good as. I mean, she makes everything taste good. I'm like, psh. You can see I'm starting to get hungry, right? I'm sorry. Actually, she gave me some stuff before she went out for her adventure tonight. She went to a book signing for our Virgo friend who's born on the 29th. Happy birthday, Toy. Her birthday's coming up. She's so sweet. She does my locks. I'm getting my locks retwisted right before Debbie and I have our thing on the 13th. So I look good for you all at the workshop. Got to look sharp. So and don't forget, September 2nd, Queen Bee comes on. What's that, Tuesday, right after Labor Day. NFL preview show. It's going to be dope. Sorry, y'all, I'm getting tired. So Taurus risings also, they love to have music and they love to entertain in their home. Like Alana and I have Aquarius fourth house, so it's different, but we like to entertain, and Taylor parties are great because we both go separate. And if you come to our party, like Kim Kayla, you're going to meet Irene Mack. Like don't you hate when you go to somebody's house party and there's like little cliques and people don't meet each other? That's like, who does that? I mean, plenty of people do it. We went to some hush posh party here at some doctor's house and it was like that. And I'm like, that's tacky. Just because people have money and wealth doesn't mean they have class and couth. I've been in the hoodest hoods to the wealthiest. So some of these people I'm around, they think they got money. I'm like, no, you got little money. I've been around real extreme wealth. Okay. I've been around, Kennedys and Clintons and Obamas up on the vineyard and real wealth. Okay. So I'm not impressed. What impresses me is your heart and your soul, your character. I'm not impressed because you got on Balenciaga, Versace. Who cares? Jimmy Choo's. By the way, I almost bought Jimmy Choo's for an ex-girlfriend, a Gemini girlfriend. I took her to the store in Manhattan. I was like, them Jimmy Choo shoes are so expensive. I was like, I love you, but I don't love you. And I'm not cheap. I'm a very generous husband and boyfriend. And actually, in some ways, I probably spent too much on my ladies growing up. At least my mom and my sister said that. Do you know my Virgo cuss girlfriend? I bought her a television when she turned 18. And it was a nice television. This is back in like, what, 80? Oh, God, 87, 88 or something. But and she had it till she was like late 20s. Oh, God, excuse me. So Gemini risings. So Quintella, hopefully you're still here. Sorry, I'm moving slow, but I hope you guys are sticking with me. So Gemini risings, Leo is in the third house. So, there is that community activist. There is that you got to wear red, orange, yellow, gold, bright colors on social media and be very entertaining and colorful. If you're a woman, jewelry, men nowadays wear the earrings too. I never, even my mom and sister, like, oh, you would look nice with a piercing. I was like, nah, I'm a real native New York. I'm a real dude. I ain't pissing my ears. And no shade, no hate. Two of my older two sons had their ears pierced. The younger two may want to do it. I'm kind of old school. What do you guys think about that? Men with their ears pierced. And I'm really not hating or judging. I mean, I see where it looks good on some gentlemen, some guys, but I'm one of those dudes where I have one tattoo, I have long hair, so I guess that's my rebellion. I'm not wearing earrings and piercing my ear. I'm sorry, and it's not, and it doesn't matter if someone, I don't care. Come on, I was an actor. I've got plenty of, gay, lesbian friends. I don't, that none of that stuff matters to me. I don't judge. That's not my business, right? I don't care. I love everybody. But I'm just saying that is very feminine for me. And because I'm not feminine, I'm not going to wear an earring. I think of earrings for women. And maybe I'm outdated and wrong. You guys let me know. But like, I just want to know what the ladies think about that. Do you find it attractive or sexy? Or do you find it like only nice on certain men? Like that guy can wear an earring, but that guy can't? Like let me know. But it's okay if he's a bad boy and full of muscles, he can wear an earring, or is it just, if he's in a business suit, he can't wear an earring, like a dangling one, or just studded diamonds? Like, I want to hear from the ladies in the chat. Let me know. You guys comment quickly, and I'm gonna just read it. And I like chatting with you about that. But Leo third house, you can definitely. You remember it's the adult relationship with your mother, your siblings. So you could have a sibling that's in entertainment or very creative, and you can live around some powerful neighbors. You could have someone that's a political neighbor or entertainment neighbor. But you could definitely, you could be like, the cat's meow in elementary school too. Okay. So maybe Quintella, you were very creative in elementary school, any Gemini risings. But there's this quality about you and how you communicate. You're going to tend to communicate from your heart, and you can write from your heart too. Okay. So I'm going to read my thing. Did any of you ladies comment for me? What you think about? Come on, write it in there. I don't see too many comments. What do you guys think about men with earrings? And then what age too? That's what I'm kind of curious. Like, so my 16-year-old has it. He got it at 15. Any thoughts, ladies? I'm curious. And, Danny, Steven, you guys can chime in too. I'm just kind of curious, but that's just Eric Taylor. I'm not into wearing earrings. Okay. What's Mama Miss saying? Oh, Sag rising for the Leo. Oh, no tattoo. Yeah, Teresa. I only got one tattoo, but they're not bad. It does work, Gigi. You're right. Only on certain men, I guess. I don't know. I'm not attracted to men, but I don't know, you guys. I'm real old school. I mean, obviously, I got locks and a tattoo, so I'm not. I got 11th house stellium, so I got a little rebellious energy in me too, but there's just certain things I don't cross the line, I guess. So the ninth house is your hips and thighs. So Leo in the ninth house. So it's important for you to get out there, Sag risings, and walk with Sag rising anyway, so getting out in nature is important for you. And Leo, ninth house, Mama Miss, you and whoever else Sag rising here, you guys can tend to like some spicy food too. Okay, so let's do Cancer risings, and then we're done, right? Cancer risings, it's Leo in the second house, so you definitely your speech is very like authoritative, very creative. It's generous, it's bright. The ancients felt that Cancer associated with the mother, first house, the womb, the portal. That this was like the original chart, not Aries rising, Cancer rising. Some old ancient books. And then the second house was associated with the father of the son going out to work. Second house is money, how you earn money, your family savings, values. I can't talk today. Assets. I think it's this over my ears. Sorry. My big old ears. Oh my God. Oh my God. Have you guys noticed? I guess it's Virgo season, and I've verbally been a little critical of myself today. And I told you, right? Retire from negative self-talk. But I said kind of like dumb, and I corrected myself. I said big ears twice. I just have ears, right? They're not good, bad, or indifferent. They're just my ears, but this is hurting my ears. I got to watch that. That's the thing. Virgos, we can talk bad about ourselves or criticize ourselves and not even realize it. It's like subconscious dialogue. We have to be very mindful of that. And obviously, I'm not saying anything terrible, and you guys know I'm kind of playing and joking. But even in jokes, you got to watch your words. So even with Irene and Mama Miss, right? Speak health over yourself, right? My back and my shoulder and my feet have been killing me, but I'm just like, I get up and I say, thank you, God, for my feet, and thank you for my back feeling better today. When I'm in the bed at night and I pray, oh, one of my kids is making a smoothie. I'm like, what is that noise? I really try to stay in gratitude and positive. But, Irene, with the Saturn, Neptune, the headache stuff, plus Uranus and Gemini. And I think, Irene, remind me, I think you're Gemini rising. Yeah, I think you got Taurus 11. No, or you're Cancer rising with Taurus in the 11th house. I forget. You come in and out of my life. You come in and out of my life. I feel like Irene and Jennifer, I feel like you guys play hard to get with me. You're like elusive ladies. Like, oh, Eric, you can have me sometimes, but you can't always have me. Y'all been teasing me, I'm really playing with you, but I love you guys a lot. I really do. And, I appreciate you guys. Whenever you do come. But, you get love. Like we said it last time, Irene and Jennifer, like you guys get love on this channel. You don't get love like this on other channels. I already know. I peep other channels. People are nice. I'm not saying that people aren't as nice as me. But one thing I try to create on my channel, it is to like let you know, not only you appreciate it here, but that I see you and your thoughts, your opinions, your 2 cents. It matters, so maybe that makes my podcast a little longer. Some people, they're like, oh, I've got to get in and out at 45 minutes or in and out in an hour, and I may be here for like an hour and 15, hour and 30. Sometimes we do 2 hours, hour and 45. What did I start today? Oh my God, yeah, I was supposed to end around 6. So I've done an hour and a half, I started a minute too late, so I'm up to an hour and a half. So, but I just finished everything, so I'm going to get ready to say goodbye. I got to get out of this chair, and I got to get back to doing some writing on the book before wifey spanks my hand. So, I mean, hey, it's my book, right? She's done a lot of writing too. So actually, wifey's going to have a credit as co-writing. Obviously I had to write all the astrology stuff, but like, she, would clean stuff up and, and the one thing that's good is that because it's a basic foundations book, she made me kind of really bring it down to, if you've never learned astrology, you can get my book and learn it, because sometimes I may talk over people's heads because I just forget that people don't know what I know. Even though I'm a very good teacher, or at least I feel I am, and a lot of you have said that you think I am, but I, when you're writing a book, sometimes you can forget, like you've got to explain the minute detail. So we even explain like how to bring up the chart and how to look for the key on the bottom. That key with all that tiny print that I can't see, we're breaking that down. Like, so, on astro.com. So like, and explaining just so much. So this is going to be like, yeah, really, really excited and proud of this book. And I love you guys. I'm going to check the last couple of comments. Do me a favor, go to Stars and Cards Lounge, subscribe, leave a comment. We've got 3 videos up now, the trailer, another behind the scenes video, and then our first official video. And I think our first live is going to be Wednesday, September 3rd. Probably 8 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully you come. I'll see you guys Tuesday and Friday this week. Tuesday with Micah Dank, 7 p.m. Eastern. And Friday, Amy Robeson. She'll be doing live readings, and you guys can ask questions to Micah Dank. You want to talk about astrology in the Bible, Torah, Quran? Come and ask Mike questions. He was a 32nd degree Mason. You want to ask certain questions? Come at. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I try to bring y'all some heavy hitters. Like this guy, Orville Douglas, coming. He's a fruitarian. He's coming in October. I got some more goodies coming in September. I'm going to try to bring back some guests that have been on before. But I'm always, going to try to give you guys something different and good too. I'm working on a stand-up comic, 1 or 2. So I've got one that's, like I said, one of my friends. His name is Sean Savoy. He's out of Maryland, D.C. He's pretty funny. And You know, we we used to do our comedy adventures at the University of Maryland. So I'm going to see if I can get him on this month, and some interesting people. So any other comments about Leo in any of the houses, or what you guys think about men with earrings? Leave it in the chat now. I'm going to get ready to read some of the comments, and then I'm going to get out of here because I got to check on these boys. I don't know what time wifey's going to get home, but I got to check on these boys to make sure they're all getting ready for school tomorrow. They're starting to want to stay up later. You know, dad's a stickler. I'm like ready to put them in bed at 8:30. They're like, Dad, we're 16 and 12. Can we stay up till like 9, 9:30? The 16-year-old, he likes to stay up till like 10. And truth be told, I stayed up to that age, at 10 o'clock, but he can't wake up in the morning like I could. So I'm like, dude, you need to go to bed around 9, 9:30 because you struggle in the morning getting up. You know, the 12-year-olds, the Leos, they're not like the Gemini Leos. They get up like no problem, 5, 6 a.m. They're up. But this is how you heal and recover. You got to get your rest. Between 10 and 6, each organ is going through its process of healing, right? Between the witching hour, between 2 and 4, that's the liver. So you want your organs to go through their processes so they heal. Just like each house is a 2-hour gap. That is the each like ascendant. Throughout the day, it goes through all 12 ascendants, and that's 2-hour windows. So if someone's born at 12 midnight, you know that their sun is in the 4th house. If they're born around 12:30 or 12 noon, chances are their sun is in the, depending on the season now, right? Their sun is in the 10th house. So if they're born around 6, 7 a.m., their sun is most likely going to be 1st or 12th house, depending if it's daylight or it's savings or standard, you know what I mean? So oh my God, just to give you guys that mental Rolodex, right, every 2 hours. So that way, like if you're planning things, if you do it between 12 and 1, that sun will be in the 10th house. And the sun in the 10th house will overcome any obstacles. It will face them. The 10th house is a jungle. You're going to face obstacles, but the sun will overcome it. Just like Mars in the 10th is really good too. I almost feel like I should do a coffee talk, and maybe I'll put that up. What you guys can tell me real quick here, but please go to my post and vote on my polls. I put those up, and I'm going to put one in for coffee talk because I'm going to do Saturday afternoon, the 6th. I think I'm going to do like 5 p.m. Eastern, a little bit later. The coffee talks are going to be a little weird in September, you guys, just because I'm doing the 2 workshops. I'm going to be live and Missy's Mysteries, doing astrology readings all day on the 20th from 11 to 5 p.m. And then I've got football season starts, so I got my boys' games on Wednesday nights and Saturday mornings. Can I live? Can I breathe? So, but come and leave me a comment, and go back and comment on Jazz's episode and Micah Danks and did you guys like my friend Sarah Ashley? She's really good. She's a good astrologer. She's a fun follow on Instagram. She's not as big on YouTube, but she's a really good astrologer. And did you guys see me on Lisa Salvatore? Oh my God, it's got like, I haven't checked it, but it's got like, I think a couple thousand views. We did the whole eclipse season. It was a good episode. Lisa Salvatore is her page. So I'm listening to your comments now. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, guys. Oh, Renee Reynolds is here. Oh, my God. Oh, thank you. Oh, Samuel's here, too. I missed some of you guys. Yeah, Biggie, leave Biggie alone. You're the best. Thank you. I know. Did I miss any of your other comments, you guys? I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can with this, trying to highlight. I don't know why it doesn't, it's not highlighting to read it and stuff. But, yeah, so I'm glad that, Renee and Samuel came. It's not highlighting. I don't know why it doesn't do that. But just remember, Leo, whatever house. Oh, the time change threw you off. You need a nap. You also need a nap because of the Saturn Neptune. It's affecting a lot of people. Remember, it's in Aries, so it's affecting our head. So, what I was gonna say, uh, you're replaying the "Come on, Irene." Yeah, I'm glad. Come on, Irene. You're a star. But also, so I was gonna say, would you guys like a coffee talk where I actually do a coffee talk where it's just like I'm just answering astrology questions? I mean, that can be good too, because like you can just, like if everybody comes with like 3 questions, personal questions, that could be a really good coffee talk too, because it's about learning astrology. And that way we're all there learning, but I'm also like hooking you up and helping you out. Like I don't mind doing that. Like, I'm trying to think of like cool, fun topics, but sometimes you guys don't like the celebrities or the famous people that I pick, or you know, it's hard, right? I'm trying to pick subjects that everybody will be into, you know, and so it's hard to get a consensus. Like, remember, I put up a poll question for who was it? Michelle Obama and what do we do? Michelle Obama and Nina Simone, and then like all these people voted for Michelle Obama, and then hardly anybody came to the coffee talk. So it's like, I'm trying to appease the people. You know, that's right. No, I need to do a T-shirt, right, with all my sayings. But retire from negative self-talk. That's a good one. That's a E-ism. Nobody else be saying that but Big E. So when you hear other people saying it, know that they stole it from your boy. But I love you guys. I'm gonna go. Please come back and comment on the live. It helps it grow in the algorithms. Leo, whatever 12 houses you're in, you're gonna shine bright. You're gonna be bold, brave, and courageous. Be more generous. When you get self-centered and selfish in any of these houses, it's not nice, and you can get arrogant and stubborn. That's a fixed fire sign. I had somebody tell me in the Stars and Cars Lounge in one of the comments, Aquariuses aren't arrogant. We just don't like people that are not smart or dumb. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I love Aquarius, but yeah, they can be very arrogant. And honestly, you guys, all the fixed signs, out of all the signs, the fixed signs are the most stubborn and arrogant. It's the reality. Does it mean that other signs and other placements aren't arrogant, like a Libra or Cancer or Virgo can be arrogant? Any human can be arrogant. And we have planets in all houses. So it's not just looking at the sun sign, but that's a generalization. And astrology, if you ever just look at the sun sign, you're missing the whole thing. The sun sign it's very important, but it's also not so important. Think about it, right? The moon's your inner self. The Mercury is how you analyze and assess. The Venus is your values, relationships, love, money, finances. The Mars, your willpower, your drive, brothers, boyfriends. The Jupiter, your wisdom, beliefs, philosophies, abundance. The Saturn, your discipline, right? Uranus, your rebel, black sheep, your soul pushing. The Neptune, your spirituality, how you delude, lie to yourself, your escapism, your creativity, imagination. Your Pluto, your soul psyche, and your transformation and power and hidden secrets. And I mean, your Lilith, all this stuff, like everything is, think about it, it all represents the complexities of a human being. Think about how complex your life is and a human being is when you stop and think, and then think about how you need to tap into all the planets and energies. From the Lilith to the Chiron to the Juno, they all help these asteroids too. So don't think for a second that the sun sign is just the bee's knees and it stops there. And don't focus on relationships for the sun sign. I told you that's like the 6th or 7th thing I look at. All right. So this was fun. You think I did good? I know I wasn't perfect. I wasn't Alana reading the chat or whatever, but I tried to get to pretty much everybody. And I think we had a good time. And more importantly, we went through Leo in all 12 houses. And Leo, just be high vibrational, whatever house you're in. Those who want to reach out to me for the birth chart sale. If you haven't gone to my website and signed up for my newsletter, I suggest you do it. They've been really good. You can always join my tribe, my community, our tribe, our community, www.community.bigeastrology.com, 18 or $5 a month. Obviously, I recommend 18 because you get more discounts. And after you're in the tribe for a year, you can get a natal, soul return, secondary progression, or unconscious soul chart. You guys explore my website. I do so many different services that you may not even think of or know of that can be beneficial. Unconscious soul chart, that's connected to the gene keys 88 days before you were born. The moon tracking chart. We go through a whole month in your chart of the moon in transit and explain how it's going to affect your emotions, your body, your health, your intuition. Like, it's one of the services I'm so freaking proud of. It's amazing. So, explore BigEAstrology.com, join the community, join the tribe. I'll see you Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern with Micah Dank, and then Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern with Amy Robeson. And then the following, I probably won't do that Sunday. It'll be Labor Day weekend. I'll be on Tuesday to start September off with my girl, Queen B, Numeralytics, for the NFL football preview. Even if you don't like sports, you want to come because Numeralytics, she's like freaking insane. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and you'll learn a bit about sports so you could talk to your friends or husband or boyfriend or family members. So you can be like, well, I know this and that. You sound like a little expert because you hang out with me and Queen B. Between the sports, numerology, and astrology, we're going to have you knowing some stuff to talk about this NFL season. All right? I love you guys. Thank you for everything. Thank you for watching my astro weather. Thank you for showing up to my lives. Thank you for coming to my tribe, our tribe. I don't even want to say my tribe. It's our tribe. And it was very powerful Friday. So make sure you guys who got it, Danny, watch the replay. It was great. You too, Teresa Miller. All right. I'm out. Episode 373. I'll see you, Leo, through all 12 risings, all 12 houses, covering all 12 rising signs. And I'll see you, Micah Dank, 7 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday, August 26th, 7 p.m. Eastern, episode 374, right? That's 10 and 4 is 14 of 5. Change. So maybe Micah can help change your mind. And definitely you should support him and check out his book series, Into the Rabbit Hole. It's 8 books. It's deep. All right. BigEAstrology. Adios.